I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, Six-Pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All 6 of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're back to another review. This is another paid request for Guillermo. If anyone's ever interested in requesting a review, movie topic, reaction, pretty much any type of video, you can send a request directly to my PayPal. Or you can join my Patreon. Either way, both links are down below in the info box. But Baadasssss. There was a film back in the day called Sweetback's Baadasssss, which was one of the movies that helped jumpstart the creation of the Blaxploitation genre, that showcases that a man of color could be the star of a film and not be a comic relief and not be silly or goofy, but could be a badass. And that old film was directed by Melvin Van Peebles. And this is about the making of that film. So in other words, think of a serious version. There's humor, but a more serious version of Dolomite Is My Name. That film with Eddie Murphy. And this came out around 2004. And this is actually starring and directed by Mario Van Peebles, the son of Melvin Van Peebles. So Mario plays his father in the movie, as it details the making and the struggles of making and distributing this film. Now, Mario Van Peebles, I know a lot more than his dad, because I've seen Mario in films like Gunman with him and Christophe Lambert, or as I've known him as Christopher Lambert from Highlander. Gunman's a fun movie. He was also in New Jack City, which he directed, which I reviewed on the channel. He was in The Exterminator 2, a few other films, Solo. And like I said, he directs this, and you do tell that he has a fondness for his dad, but there's a little bit of, I don't want to say bitterness, but things were not all sunshine and rainbows. And I thought Mario Van Peebles, for the little bits I know about his dad, he did a really good job in the role, and his direction is fairly solid too, because it does showcase the struggles that people of color, especially back then, where at times the movie will showcase racial images that were throughout movies well before that showed people of color and not the best of light. So it really gets more of an understanding of why Mario Van Peebles, who's playing his dad, Melvin Van Peebles, at the time the guy had this successful film called Watermelon Man, which I guess was a comedy. I've never heard of the film. And then he got this picture deal, and then Melvin Van Peebles had these offers, and he's like, no, I want a film with a black guy who's a badass, who's a lead, who people could be proud of. And the studios were against that. They were afraid of that. And he gets money together and films it independently, which is a big, tough battle, because stuff happens where he can't use SAG actors, so he has to put himself in the lead. He tries to get money from people. Adam West makes a cameo in this as a guy, a potential investor. David Alan Grier is in the film, because in order to avoid the union, they have to make them pretend that they're making a smut film, because you tell everyone I'm doing that and they'll leave me alone. They get some people for the crew, including Terry Crews. He's part of the crew. Glenn Plummer, who I remember, if you've seen the film Speed, the guy who Keanu Reeves steals his car to get on the bus, that's Glenn Plummer. He's in this as an actor who stutters, and Melvin Van Peebles actually enjoys that because it's more real, so he puts him in the film. Apparently Bill Cosby helped with the funding of the old film Sweetback's Baadasssss, so he's in the movie, and he's played by T.K. Carter. And for those who don't know who that is, he was in John Carpenter's The Thing with the roller skates. So, oh wow, it's cool to see T.K. Carter again. And while he's playing Bill Cosby, doing a pretty good job of it. And I never saw the original Sweetback's Baadasssss. But yeah, it talks about the struggle making the film. It also has Mario. I know it sounds confusing the way I'm explaining it, but Mario Van Peebles is playing his dad in the film. But then there's also a character that is Mario when he was a kid, because his father put him in the film as the younger version of Melvin Van Peebles' character, to the point that he wanted the kid to shave his afro, then ultimately said, okay, fine, you can wear a wig, and then has him play a character who loses his virginity. And this is a kid that's like, I don't know, 13, 14 years old, and it didn't apparently cast his son as, yeah, you don't play a character, you don't lose your virginity, and you don't need your cherry popped. And it does mention in the film how people in the crew is like, yeah, that's a bit weird, or that's a bit, but then the director star Melvin says, no, it's alright, he'll be fine. And that's what I mean, like Mario Van Peebles, as he's making and directing this film and starring as his dad, again, you could tell that there's a respect factor, but also a little bit of, again, I don't want to say bitterness, maybe a hint of it. And it was an interesting film. At the end of the day, it was an interesting film. The cast, like I said, I like Mario Van Peebles. He does a good job. You got, I mentioned David Alan Grier and Terry Crews. Paul Rodriguez is in the film. Glenn Plummer, T.K. Carter, among others. He talks about, the movie talks about how Melvin is very adamant on getting this film made, and that he'll create some people hating him. For example, there's a moment where his crew gets in jail, and he's not going to get them out right away because he doesn't want to jeopardize his film, and that gets some friction. And it does detail a good chunk of making the film and the struggles of editing, meeting these people that he doesn't know and no one knows that's going to do the soundtrack. It happens to be Earth, Wind, and Fire. So apparently that film was their big break in movies. And then at the very end, it does something interesting where in the end credits, it has the real people talking about the making of the film. So you get the real Earth, Wind, and Fire, the real Bill Cosby, which is weird watching nowadays because of Bill Cosby, but yeah, details the making of the film that I think the tagline was Rated X by an all-white jury. If you like movies about the making of films, if you want to see a more serious version of Dolomite Is My Name, which is a really great movie with Eddie Murphy, and again, this one has some humor in it, but I would definitely say it's a bit more serious than the other one. It's worth a look. It details the hardships and how tough it was getting the movie made. Like I said, Mario Van Peebles, I thought did a pretty good job directing, showcasing sort of where this guy was coming from, why he was so adamant, because he really wanted to, as he says, make a movie that starred the black community. That he was someone who wanted to showcase his community in a better light than what had previously been done in film. And again, even though I've never seen the original movie, watching the making of it, or I guess you could say the dramatization of making this film, still was a interesting experience. I don't know why I'm stuttering and stopping like I'm William Shatner, but some people may view the film as too political, but I thought what it does, it works well in the movie. It fits. It doesn't seem out of place. I mean, I didn't find too much problems with the movie. It's not a problem with the movie, it's just, again, because I don't know the original film and I don't have any love or hate or anything of it, it's not something, it's not even like, oh, Ed Wood, when I reviewed Ed Wood, and okay, I've heard of these films and seen bits and pieces. I knew nothing about Sweetback's Badass Song, other than I've heard the title. But even with that little knowledge, it was still an interesting film to watch. So again, if you like movies about the making of films, if the cast interests you, or the director star Mario Van Peebles interests you, which again I'm a fan of, it's worth a look. It's an interesting film. It'd be an interesting double feature to watch this and then Dolomite Is My Name with Eddie Murphy. Be, like I said, an interesting double feature. So that was Badass with an exclamation mark. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you in the next review. Later.